Hello, my name is Chris Skinner and I'm here with Stephane Garelli, who's a professor at the Lausanne Business School. Welcome, Stephane.
Thank you, Chris.
Looking at the global economies, I read every day that there's big contraction and shrinkage in all economies. So where are the opportunities right now?
I think first we are really at the end of the beginning, if we can put it that way. I think for the first time we are saying that the markets are rebounding. Since the 9th of March, which was really the real bottom, I think things are improving much better. And I think we have to be careful not to have this gloom and doom approach on the entire economy. There are still some companies which are doing pretty well. We have also the entire sector of the companies which are not listed on the stock exchange, the privately owned companies, which are also doing pretty well. So I think we have to be careful. There are still some pockets in the economy which are okay. Now, the problem we have is obviously the headlines about the financial worlds were pretty bad, and it had a tendency to obscure the rest of the economy. My feeling is that we are in a wait-and-see period until the summer, and then things will get much better.
I'm often asked about investing in banks, and through this crisis, obviously, the mood has been sell or hold. Would you say right now that if you're looking at the banking sector, you would start to invest again?
It's buy now.
Okay.
It is a time to buy. Actually, if you would have bought shares of some of the banking sector about 2 months ago, you probably would have done the best investment in your life. I have the feeling that this year is going to be a very good year for the stock exchange in terms of profitability, because we went so low, we went ridiculously low. And I think the valuation of companies is not appropriate anymore, and the valuation of banks is even worse. So my feeling is that this is a time to buy not only banks, financial services, but also the insurance. The insurance sectors was beaten. It's not anymore. A company like AIG is probably the best investment you could have done during the past 3 months.
And looking at the payments area, which is where this conference focuses, obviously there's innovations taking place, there's infrastructural changes taking place, there's big changes in the single euro payments area and legislation therein. Where do you think the role of transactions and payments in a financial context lies? And do you think that it's the most important part of the bank, or do you think it's something that they should be outsourcing? Or
no, I think it's going to be very important, especially because, frankly speaking, we don't know in which kind of world we are going to go. On one hand, I think we need to have much more simplification of the business model. People hope that the transaction system is going to be much more simple than it used to be. On the other hand, let's face it, we are going to be in a world of more regulations. Because of what happened, most people think that the crisis occurred because the regulators did not do their work. So the consequence is that we are going to see a lot of rules, regulation, and laws occurring a bit everywhere. What I believe truly is that this is a world where the governments are going to be very powerful, where the politicians are more powerful than ever. I think that actually they thoroughly enjoy every bit of the crisis, because for once they have a sense of purpose. So I have the feeling we are going to see a lot of regulation on the market, and the transaction business will have a little bit to ease the system in order to make sure that it functions as well as it did in the past.
The fact that this is an annual conference, when we come here next year, what do you think we'll be talking about, and what do you think will be the main focal point for the outlook then?
I think we will be out of the financial crisis. I think that we shall see that the economy is rebounding, but we will be confronted with two major problems. The first one, I deeply believe it's going to be unemployment. Unemployment is going to be there for the long term, and I think we are going to see level of employment between 8–10% all over Europe and the US. Some country like Spain, 20%. And this is going to be very serious. The second thing is going to be inflation. I think we are seeding now all the ingredients to have an inflationary world for next year. And just to state that we are going to have inflation is not enough. I think we have to prepare now how we are going to manage a world of inflation, what type of assets we are going to buy for the company, what type of competence we are going to build in companies to manage an inflationary environment. For the moment, we don't have those competences. So maybe you have to hire a Brazilian accountant, which probably are the last guys who knows how to manage inflation. But basically, I think unemployment and inflation are going to be the very big issue we are going to deal with next year.